Happy Arvo. How you doing? Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, maybe not the happiest Arvo if you're living here in America, because this is about the Australian businesses that are abandoning America over the U.S. tariffs. The chickens are coming home to roost. I mean, okay, this is bad for the American consumer, obviously, right? Because it means less competition, higher prices. Good for the people who were competing with these Australian businesses here in America. You know, now they can jack up their prices here in America because they don't have as much competition anymore. Anyway, ABC News Australia, small and up-and-coming YouTube channel. Link down below. Let's do it.
Lots of these packages were destined for the United States, but now they're going to be sent elsewhere.
We've decided to stop shipping to the US because we can't provide clarity to our customers. It's tough to make a decision.
Wow. Interesting. That's an interesting point right there. Clarity. Almost implying like they don't even know how to price their goods. They're like, we don't know how much you're going to pay for this, okay? We don't know. And we don't know if we're going to make any money, you know, selling it at a certain price or not. Now, of course, the importer is the one that has to pay the tariffs. But regardless, it all gets factored into the total price, right? Okay, let's go.
Especially when it represents a third of your overall revenue.
Whoa, a third of his overall revenue. What?
To stop shipping to the US because we can't provide clarity to our customers. It's tough to make a decision, especially when it represents a third of your overall revenue.
Jesus. See, and that shows how it's just bad for everybody. Well, like I said, other than American companies who were competing with this clothing line, they're like, yay, less competition. But see, it's bad for you guys too, obviously. A third of the revenue was from America. The American consumers, we love to buy shit, you know, and foreign stuff. We're like, ooh, made in Australia? Cool. So, unfortunate.
The Australian fashion brand is making this call after the US president decided to...
God damn, I hate this clip. This stupid poster board that changed the world, you know? This poster board single-handedly wrecked all of our alliances.
end a long-running tax exemption for global retailers.
That was kind of the way that countries were able to still trade and not be subjected to huge tariffs for the end consumer.
Until now, goods going into the States worth $800 or
Right.
less weren't taxed. This so-called de minimis exemption is being axed on August 29. Products will now get the tariff associated with their country of origin or a duty ranging from $80 to $200.
Sorry. $80 to $200. Oh my God. Obviously, that just totally ruins any type of business opportunity for most products. But yeah, this de minimis exemption thing, that was really big for these companies like Temu, AliExpress, mainly out of China, you know. It's crazy what you... I don't really use those apps, so I don't know how it's going right now. I guess their time is running out quickly. But as of right now, I think you can still buy products on like Temu here in America. I assume you can in Australia too, so you're familiar with this. But it's like unbelievably cheap. Now, it's also like garbage quality. It's both garbage quality, usually, but also unbelievably cheap stuff from these websites. TikTok Shop, Temu, you know. But it's just crazy. You can buy, I mean, you can buy like a phone case or something for like $1. It's crazy. Like, how does that make any sense? They make it all the way in China and I'm buying it for $1. But anyway, yeah, it's because they were exempt from tariffs and stuff. Let's go.
Look, I think the simple way to describe it is just utter chaos.
I didn't think about that being applied to Australian goods at all, or other countries, really. I only ever thought of that being applied to China, really, or like Vietnam or something, you know, like cheap goods. That's interesting. That's really sad that there's other countries like Australia that impacts Australia really heavily. People trying to, especially small businesses, shipping just single items to America. Yeah, that's pretty sad. I think we should exempt some countries from that.
Look, I think the simple way to describe it is just utter chaos.
Apero uses Australia's national carrier for its shipping, and its co-founder says they're struggling to get firm answers about what is happening next.
The lack of ability of even people like Australia Post to be able to address these issues in a timely manner puts us and all of Australian fashion, I think, in a really precarious position.
Australia Post didn't respond to specific questions. This tech company helps Australian retailers send goods to America. It's finding that because of US...
I need the freaking opposite. How do I get the opposite? You know what I mean? That's what I stopped selling shirts and stuff, right, guys? Because I just didn't want to raise the prices, and the prices kept going up. I started losing money on all the shirts. Thank you to anybody who bought a shirt. But I didn't want to sell like a $40 shirt, you know? And once you're losing money on shirts, it's like... It actually kind of felt wrong because it's like, I know that I wasn't selling very many shirts, but anybody who bought a shirt was kind of trying to support me, right? And it's like, thank you. I mean, it's not really supporting me because I'm losing money, but I hope you like the shirt. And I really appreciate it. I was making some money at first, you know, a small amount. Anyway.
Tariffs,
Now you've got a very rare item if you still have one of my shirts, guys. They're not for sale anymore.
businesses on its platform are pulling back.
What we've kind of identified is that there's been around a 36% drop in volume since April.
Since April, 36%?
In terms of outbound shipments from Australia to the US.
So navy blue large, olive green large as well? Yep.
Whoa.
This Australian brand makes its tops in China. It ships them directly to its distribution centre in America, meaning it's already being slugged with Trump's far higher tariffs on Chinese-made goods.
I feel like that's how a lot of businesses do it. That makes sense. See, I thought about that with my shirts too. I could maybe have them made in China and then shipped straight from there to like a distribution center in Australia. I don't think it makes any sense because not enough people, not very many people. I mean, I'm not that big of a YouTuber, right? So it's like, I don't know how that would work.
And so we're glued to, you know,
But the shipping would be cheap.
ABC watching what's happening with these tariffs. It just got out of hand really quickly.
At the start of Donald Trump's second presidency, there was already a 10% tariff on Chinese goods. This was increased in February to curb imports of fentanyl, sparking retaliation from Beijing and an even higher tax rate in March.
You know, the whole fentanyl thing is really, I need to look into that because I don't understand. I'm just being honest. I'm totally ignorant to what the issue is there. I didn't know our fentanyl issue here in America was in part from China. But Trump, I guess it is. I need to learn about that. Like, are they secretly adding it to goods, like hiding it and stuff and shipping it here or something? I don't freaking know.
Sparking retaliation from Beijing and an even higher tax rate in March.
That's like the worst drug ever, by the way. I don't know if you guys have a fentanyl problem, but it kills a lot of people. A lot of people.
Then came Liberation Day and a
Liberation
tit-for-tat
Day.
escalation, igniting a bigger trade war where the tariff rate
We were liberated from all our alliances.
reached 155%. That de-escalated significantly after officials met in Geneva and later London. Nashi's latest tariff bill was still...
Yeah, when it was at like 155, it was like, wait, what is even happening? Are we just throwing out pretend numbers at this point?
in
But that was on China, of course.
the six figures.
I did not think about, once again, I didn't think about how a lot of business, you know, obviously, it's not just American companies that manufacture a lot of stuff in China. Australian companies do too. And then you guys ship it straight from China to America. So those tariffs hugely impacted you guys as well on China. I didn't even think about that.
I was very salty when I was sitting in the Commonwealth Bank paying that as an international transaction. There's no way you can possibly absorb that. You'd be selling almost at a loss.
I really feel for these businesses simply because they don't have any certainty whatsoever.
Yeah, and I mean, what he said there is interesting, right? Because he's implying he absorbs it. And there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of confusion about that. Like, who pays the tariff? And ultimately, I mean, the truth is that everybody pays the tariff. You know what I mean? It gets distributed across the supply chain. You know, it impacts, you know, who has ever got the highest margins ultimately ends up paying, whether it's the end consumer, the importer, the exporter. Everybody's being hurt by the tariff.
While the superpowers are in a trade truce until November.
Because when the importer says, okay, we want to buy your shirt, but, you know, each shirt with this new tariff, we have to pay $40 on the shirt. So we're not going to pay $40 on top of your $40 shirt and make it an $80 shirt. We need you to lower the price to $10. That's what they, you know, that's what the importer says to Australia. We need you to lower the price to $10 because the tariff is $40. We're going to pay $50 a shirt. You're not going to see almost any of that money. You just get $10. And then if you're in Australia, you go, we can't do that. That's what that guy sent. We can't do that. We won't make any money.
November, this trade expert doesn't think they'll firm up a deal by then.
Where we have tariffs at the moment is where they'll be for a little while, and probably through to next year at least. The uncertainty is almost as impactful as the tariffs themselves.
The Australian government says it's giving these stressed exporters $50 million in support and interest-free loans. But months after Liberation Day, they still haven't received this cash because it's yet to pass Cabinet. Apero wants far more help from Australia's Trade Department.
We've never heard from Austrade, and it's quite crazy. I think there's a lot of labels and brands that do a lot of trade in the US, and we haven't heard a single thing from how to navigate this. It's all on our own.
Left to survive in a world where the global economic order is changing.
Damn, that's really sad. I honestly didn't realize that the tariffs, you know, and I mean, it's only I think, what is it, 10% right now on most things in Australia, like a base thing. But once you realize that a lot of things are also coming out of China and stuff, and yeah, that really impacts a lot of small businesses and probably big and medium-sized businesses too. But in Australia. So it's bad for our consumers. We get higher prices. It's bad for you guys. It weakens the global economy. And the comments are turned off. Damn it. Were you guys being too mean to America in these comments? All right. Go check out ABC News, guys. It's a great small and up-and-coming YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. And I apologize on behalf of America. I'll see you guys tomorrow.